Hey there, Internet travelers. I am the Redcap, and today we're going to answer the question, can a quarterback win MVP without scoring a touchdown? Let's find out. Our story begins in New York. Well, actually, it begins in New Jersey because that's where the Jets exist. In this dimension, there was palpable excitement surrounding the Jets organization. The front office staff had seen the error of their ways and given up on the Zach Wilson experiment. Instead, they had drafted the best quarterback prospect in the last 20 years, maybe ever. His name is Waylon Dowd. Waylon was put on this earth to do one thing: win. He pulled himself out of the bayou and played for the only school that noticed his godlike talents, the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. Now, because of the Louisiana connection, a lot of folks compared him to Joe Burrow, and that's not really fair. To Joe Burrow. The Jets came in their pants when they pulled up his game tape. This was their savior. This is why they had suffered for so long. The Jets weren't going to be the laughingstock of the NFL for much longer. You see, when I said that Waylon was put on this earth to win, I wasn't waxing poetic. He had never lost a football game. Not in middle school, not in high school, not in college. Waylon didn't plan on making the NFL an exception. When he showed up on the practice field, he was everything they had ever wanted. 6'6" and 240 pounds of muscle. His arm was stronger than Josh Allen's and he was faster than Lamar Jackson. He did have an interesting quirk though. Waylon was incredibly superstitious. His rituals never changed and neither did the results. Before the 2022 season started, Waylon went to a nearby carnival. There was a fortune teller there. He felt an almost supernatural pull towards her. This woman would cement his destiny. Whatever she told him would come to pass. He dreamed of Super Bowl rings and MVP awards as far as the eye could see. The fortune teller had a different plan. She was a Patriots fan through and through. She couldn't stand the thought of the Jets winning, let alone becoming a dynasty to rival the Patriots. So she told Waylon his future. A cursed future. If he scored another touchdown, he would die on the field in the next game he played. Waylon shit his pants, both mentally and physically. This couldn't be happening. His life was over. No team would want him now. How can he play quarterback if he's not allowed to score a touchdown? The Jets took this surprisingly well. I mean, they almost burnt their stadium to the ground, but after that they started brainstorming. They came up with a solution. It was crazy, but it just might work. The Jets realized that Waylon and his receivers didn't need to score touchdowns to win. They just needed to get them to the goal line. After that, they could have a running back score an easy touchdown. Hell, they could even let a wide receiver score as long as Waylon wasn't involved. Everyone would still get their numbers, and more importantly, they would hopefully win a Super Bowl. It was crazy, but the Jets figured that they didn't have anything to lose. If this season went horribly wrong, then it wouldn't be that much different from the past years. But maybe, just maybe, it was crazy enough to work. Make no mistake, the Jets thought that Waylon was batshit crazy, but no one could deny his talent. They were willing to give it a try. Ah, the things we do for love. Admittedly, Jets fans were extremely confused when they saw their offense. Sure, Waylon Dowd was the prince who was promised, but what the hell was he doing? Furthermore, what the hell were the receivers doing? It was easy to put this fear to rest though. When you win your first game 90-48, people stop questioning the methods. The receivers were happy. It would have been nice to score some touchdowns, but every single one of them had a career game at some point. They didn't necessarily believe Waylon's superstitions, but there was no harm in humoring him. The team was more successful than it had been in years, so who were they to complain? The running backs were probably the happiest of all. The Jets rotated them every game so they each got a chance to feast. And feast they did. Every single one of them had a monster season. In their minds, this curse was the best thing to ever happen to them. If anything, this was the best of both worlds. They got to pile up a disgusting amount of touchdowns and they didn't have to put any wear and tear on their bodies. Their success began tearing at the fabric of the Madden universe itself. The first sign was Nick Bodden's knees starting to defy all logic. Then, as he takes the handoff, he begins phasing in and out of reality. Truly astounding. It's hard to say if everyone was happy. At one point, an offensive lineman tackles Nick Bodden, stopping him from scoring an easy touchdown. Some people are so selfish. So I know you're sitting there wondering, did Waylon win MVP? There is no way he should win MVP. It doesn't matter how many yards you rack up. Any one of these running backs would be deserving of the award. I am so sick of MVP being a quarterback-only award. And enough. Waylon threw for almost 12,000 yards and ran for another 6,500. No further statements, Your Honor. I yield the remainder of my time. In part 1, I stated that Waylon was maybe the greatest quarterback prospect ever. It's safe to say that he exceeded expectations at a level never seen before. Was he an upgrade over Zach Wilson? You could say that. In one season, Waylon gained more yards than Zach Wilson had in his entire college and pro career combined. Saying that Waylon Dowd was an upgrade over Zach Wilson is like saying having a chauffeur is better than being dragged behind a horse in the early 1900s. When teams first saw him run out of bounds at the 1 yard line, they laughed. When they saw his receivers do the same, they pissed their pants laughing. They thought Waylon was an idiot, but let me ask you viewers this. What's more disrespectful? A quarterback scoring 11 touchdowns in a game, or a quarterback who intentionally runs out of bounds so his running backs can score? When they saw the final standings, the only people laughing were the Jets. He went full big brother mode on the entire league. He then handed the controller to his little brother to finish off the drive. Kyle Duggar got so fed up with it at one point that he gave up on football in the middle of a play. For once, Madden got it right. They gave Waylon the MVP award because there was no doubt that he was the most valuable player. They recognized the rest of the team too. They won almost every offensive award that existed. They didn't win best offensive lineman, but they somehow managed to get 8 offensive linemen on the ballot, and I think that counts for something. The season wasn't over though. Waylon was happy to win MVP, and he was happy for his teammates. He just wanted one more thing. The playoffs arrived and it was business as usual for Waylon and the Jets. Here's how it went down. The Jacksonville Jaguars roasted. The Kansas City Chiefs smoked. The best players in the NFC sauteed in garlic. God damn, I'm hungry. Waylon had done it. The Jets were back in the Super Bowl. They hadn't been in a Super Bowl since 1969. Oh, you're not gonna say it? The fans were... There it is. The fans were beyond optimistic. To them, the game was already over. Can you blame them? The Jets had outscored their playoff opponents by an average of 72 points per game. How could this game be any different? I'll tell you how. The curse. You see, the rest of the team had basically forgotten about the curse. They were so dominant that it had slipped their mind why their offense operated this way in the first place. There was one person who hadn't though. Waylon Dowd. That curse haunted him the whole season and, in the most important game of his life, he gained the last yard of his football career. It happened on the first drive of the game. There was nothing out of the ordinary about the play. He was trying to get out of bounds near the goal line just like he had done all season. Before he could step out of bounds, AJ Terrell tackled him into the end zone. Waylon took himself out of the game. He never played another snap. Bong! This left the game in the hands of White Mike. His play was underwhelming to say the least. Still, the Jets went on to win the Super Bowl, so to them it was all worth it. For everyone that cared about the Jets, it was the best day of their lives. For Waylon, it was the worst. I once again am asking you to spread the word. Waylon Dowd was taken from the NFL too early. I need all of you to like this video, subscribe if you're not already, and share this with as many people as you can. Waylon's NFL dreams may be dead, but he's still alive in our hearts.